Well,
Well,
hello.
hello.
I'm Jason.
I'm Brian.
Oh, did you forget already? Age ain't nothing but
I
a
was
number
actually trying to do a
until you
pause
forget
for
that.
Hey, well, you know what? I was just trying to do a pause for dramatic effect, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, Ryan does in Irish mean the little king, so it's a royal and epic name. So,
Speaking of royals, who are we talking about today?
well, first of all, in a fashion, this video.
That was a little too much excitement.
I know. Well, I'm glad you're showing your shoulders. They barely exist in real life. So, so this episode in a fashion to you, Mr. No Shoulders, is a dedication to you because it's about your diva.
Queen Mariah.
Scary. Oh, Carey.
Oh. Okay. Yes, it is about Mariah. We're talking about MC30. We're talking about this whole thing that she's brought out in quarantine. Of course, it's it's earmarking a lot of different milestones that she's had in her career.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be super fun. But the thing is, though, to most kittens and critters out there, they have absolutely no fucking idea what MC30 is, what it's all about, that it's become basically a social media, like, conglomerate, amazing, basically like a stage all in its own.
How do you not know what MC30, like, how do these people not know? But anyway, okay, you have to be a fan. I get it. MC30, it's celebrating her career. She's been in the business now for 30 years. Don't tell her that. But she's been in the business for 30 years, so she's celebrating by actually releasing EPs, remixes, new cuts, unreleased material, and she's doing it every single Friday. B-sides, exactly.
And then also what I loved was live performances from yesteryear.
And those live performances, especially live performances that she's never actually released, like they've done, or I think even next week she's releasing a music video that was made for a song that was going to be a single, turned out not to be a single, so they scrapped the video, and she's going to release that. Speaking of all of that, the really great thing that I love is that she's also bringing them out, as I said, in like EP form. So it's every single like one has a new cover, has the little MC30 watermark on the bottom right corner, and she, as I said, she'll release like an unreleased beat track, and then the rest is, you know, remixes of, you know, one or two songs. That being said, I know I have 2 or 3 favorite remixes, but what are your favorite remixes? I know you've listened to, I mean, God, we work together as well, and I play them all fucking day, so I know you know them.
Oh, I do. But and also,
pick a few.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just state for the court that I am just as big of a fan, even though I am
trial. Okay.
I'm like, I swear that I am a huge Mariah Carey fan, even though I am not a lamb like this one is. But putting all that aside, yeah, you are. But I've been living for it. Also, funny thing is, so I've been a fan of CNC Music Factory since I was a kid. I think actually just a Touch of Love from the Sister Act soundtrack was like my first introduction to them and why I love them so much. But one thing I didn't know, and this is just something I found out today, that so David Cole, who was the lead of the group, helped form it in the 80s. When he passed away in 1996, One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men, that was dedicated in his memory. And
ooh, I didn't even know that.
I had no fucking idea. It's the cutest thing in the world. I had no idea, and it makes so much sense now. I mean, obviously with the remixes now, with their tie to the past. And
yeah, she's been using them for remixes for ages now.
Ages. And it's so quintessential 90s dance music.
Yeah, totally.
And
totally.
I didn't know that that song was written in his memory. How sweet is that? I was like, oh my
I didn't
God.
either. That's actually pretty cool.
I was like, oh my God.
Emotions has always been my, I think, #1 favorite remix. But
well, But, you know, going all the way, I have to say also that I was a fan of Always Be My Baby. That was something that I was really
the dance
great.
one, that I hadn't even heard before.
No.
Yeah.
And I liked with the Debrat back in there. I haven't heard from her in eons.
Well, not only you. I mean, anyway.
I know.
I'm like, we'll move past that one.
But I want to know something else here because, you know, as part of the Lambily, as you are, and you will not admit it, but you will.
I always say a massive fan.
Yes.
I will not say lamb.
Bang.
That's stupid.
Bang.
STOOPID.
There's some live performances that are pretty out there and fabulous.
Oh,
and you know what?
Oh my God.
What is your favorite? Tell me all about it. And what is the most prolific?
My favorite live performance, as of recent, of course, these quarantine performances that she's been doing. My favorite is Close My Eyes, because that's a song, I think she's only really performed it like once or twice. It's not a song that she normally does, so it was so great to see that. And it's from one of my favorite albums too. So.
And what is that album?
Butterfly.
Duh! Fabulous. Fucking, honestly, the magnum opus, so to speak.
Yeah, that is her magnum opus.
You know, I mean,
which is weird though, because it's also not her most successful.
It's just though, it's the album that you know what, here's the thing. I always believe with albums like that, they could be extremely successful, but also I feel the point is that it's the changing factor. It's the metamorphosis. It's the transformation. I would just say also too, she went from no style to terrible style. That's probably the better way of explaining it, because it's exactly what happened. But she got better hair. Her body became banging. She had got a little rhythm, just a touch. I really, you know, she could move her hips a little bit more like than she used to.
I mean, I would not say a touch. I wouldn't even say barely a fingertip.
Well, you know, I'm being very nice to your diva.
Diva? What the fuck is that? Diva?
Diva! Diva!
Okay.
Well, it's better than just saying diva. Oh my God.
Mine was Close My Eyes. What is yours? I mean, she's done a few now. She even started with that one, what was that called again? World, where all the stars came together. It was like that 8-hour thing, and she performed. Like, she's been performing these quarantine things live now for a while.
Well, my favorite live performance was when she performed a surprise rendition of Hero for the Schitt's Creek crew in that little Zoom.
That was, by the way, the best thing ever. I mean,
okay. And for any of you ladies, gents, kittens, and critters who are hanging around in the litter box for too long, let me just tell you right now, it was barely a live performance. It was more of a snippet. But the fact that here's the entire crew, that we love of Schitt's Creek, having a ball, actually singing the song.
Yeah.
And then who chimes in? It'd be like right now if, you know, Mariah
Don't
Carey,
give me a heart attack.
Just popped right in the middle of the screen and lost her shit. And we'd be like, this one would literally fall over. I would die.
I mean, I would literally be just like he was in the video. Like, he was like, oh my God, Mariah Carey.
Oh my God. This is where I hope there would be a cat in your apartment with a camera on it that could take your photo of your fainted body on the ground. I also really loved when she did her, the Good Morning America Summer Series.
Oh, the summer concert series? Yeah. Well, she did Close My Eyes, and then she did Vision of Love.
Yes. And Vision of Love, of course, that's her debut single. 1990, 30 years ago.
So what's happening now? So October 2nd, she has a new album coming out. Woo! But it's not really.
She does. But before that even happens, what was just released this Friday? A specific single starring a certain
Ms. Lauryn Hill.
Oh.
Save the Day. It's like her new hero, if you will.
Well, I will say immediately when I heard that, I was like, Save the Last Dance.
No.
Or like, Save the Day. You're pregnant. You know, stuff like that.
Save the Date.
Tomato.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing is like, okay, I love this. I love the single.
Right.
It's actually really, you know, it has to be a good single for, you know, when my husband Chris says he likes it. That takes a lot because
That's
I
going
mean,
down in herstory right there.
I overwhelmed this guy. I feel very bad, but I overwhelmed this guy like 24/7 with Mariah.
Well, bitch, you don't feel bad.
I mean, it's bad. It's
It's a you love it.
But that being said, it is a really great single. I think I just have to say, and I know we've talked about this, and I know you feel the same way. It's misleading.
Yes.
It is so misleading because it says featuring Ms. Lauryn Hill, and
it does by a technicality, but it's basically a sampled backtrack from her Fuji's classic from the 90s. You know,
Killing Me Softly.
Killing Me Softly with his song. You know, it's like the whole jam, and I can't tell you how much I love that song. I think it's in my top 10 of all time. But at the same time,
seriously,
it's just it's the same beat, and it's the sampled voice of her in the background, and it's basically Mariah Carey, as you said, singing over her.
Yeah, she's basically singing over Lauryn Hill, which, mind you, I've always wanted Mariah to sing that song, so I'm so happy she did. Just that, even that harmonizing part that she did, she didn't even really sing the lyric. It was just that harmonizing at the end. I lost my shit as soon as I hear this, like that whole like.
Yes.
I lost my shit. I was like, no.
That song has a way of making us lose our shit anyway. Hopefully, we've had salads.
I'm gonna leave that one right there. Ew. Outside of that, I'm really excited. Again, she has that album. What the single's coming from? The album "The Rarity" is coming out October 2nd. But that's another thing too. Everyone's like saying, "Oh, her new album." It's not a new album. It's a compilation. That's all it is. It's an album that has all of which I'm really excited for. Unreleased tracks, things that she's made for previous albums spanning her entire career. And she's finally said, you know what? Taking it out of the vault, mixing it together, re-singing it, and we're going to do it.
Exactly.
So it's all brand new tracks.
Good for her, too, also releasing it on October 2nd, because I guess she got the memo that you will be coming older later in that month. So she's like, well, I gotta like at least, you know, take it down a notch and help him get into him being 40 a little early.
Whoa!
You heard it first. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. This bitch is turning 40. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. This episode is over. No.
Anyway,
40 my ass. And by the way, if this is what 40 looks like, y'all have a lot of catching up to do because this looks good.
Yeah, it's also covered with foundation, but
not
yet.
Anyway, it was, as always, fun talking with this whore over here, wherever the fuck he is.
Bring it up.
But it was even more fun speaking to everybody else and talking about my queen, Mariah, and all of these MC30 things. It's been real. And what?
Well, I'm glad you had a good time hanging out with us at MC30. And we'll see you in your next episode.
And what do they need to do?
They need to subscribe, Jason Neitro. I think that they, again, I'm in the court of law. I swear to tell the truth and only do the truth, which is subscribe for my life, as you should as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. That's to Ryan.